Hey everybody, it's me Peter, and today is VEDA Day. My calendar isn't on that window. I think it's 13. I think it's probably 13. VEDA Day 13. So today I figured, since I have been doing this whole go verb and noun thing without actually doing this whole go verb and noun thing, I would do some video of what I actually, I would explain how my workflow works so that maybe you guys can see why it takes so long. And also so that you guys can see what I'm actually working on. So without, we'll just jump straight into things. This is my desk. I have a screen set in portrait mode and a screen set in landscape mode. Right now the landscape mode one is off because if I turn it on, the white balance on the camera gets a little wonky because it's very blue. And now I am a little pink/yellow. So we're going to turn that back off. See, it's like magic. Anyways, so yeah, right now I am, well, let's turn this back on because you guys know what I look like. Right now I'm working on my interview with Mike Rugnetta. As you can see, his handsome mug right there. One of the reasons that when I edit it takes so long is because this video, without me having edited most of it, still has 1 hour, 24 minutes, and 35 seconds of footage. And that is a little bit more than your average YouTube video. Now, a lot of this is dead space or noise or static or whatever. I'm sorry, but this white balance is just freaking me out. But a lot of it isn't. And so it takes time for me to go through there and cut what is usable from what is not usable. So yeah, I think now would be a great time to do a magical transition into some screen capture. Ready, and go. Alright, so here we are with my workflow. This is Mike Rugnetta. As you can see, I use Adobe Premiere Pro, which came with my subscription to Adobe Creative Cloud. It cost me about 20, 30 bucks a month, but it's worth it. And if anything, my Patreon actually pays for this. That's what I tell myself. I haven't actually taken money out of my Patreon, but that's how I justify the subscription. Besides this main window where I've got, effect controls, metadata, and all that jazz, I also have my clip window right here. As you can see, this is where I put the clips and the audio, and then when I get titles, they end up here. Usually, if I start putting titles in, which I will, I'll have a new bin here, and I'll call it titles. I also have this window here, the title editing window, which is very handy. And then down here, my final spare window is effects. Here's what you guys really wanted to see. So yeah, what most of my time is spent doing when it comes to editing is taking all of this workable stuff, that is to say. So look at all this clips. And over here, as you can see, I have 1 hour and 22 minutes of footage. Now, a lot of it is really good, but a lot of it isn't workable because of things like wind, for example. So, for example, right here, there's an awful lot of wind. I mean, also he's just kind of sitting there scratching his face and thinking, because I asked him a very deep question, as I often do. But like, right here, he's talking and there's wind blowing, and that's really unfortunate. It has been my experience that one of my greatest banes for this whole project is it took me a hot minute to figure out how to do audio properly. So yeah, basically I have to go through here. And I can tell from these peaks, so you've got an audio peak right here, which means this probably here is also wind. Let's find out. Yep, that's also wind. And so I spend a lot of time going through there, figuring out what's good, what's bad. If you look closely, I've got A2 and A1 here. Here, let's make this big real quick. So I've got the two audio sections. This lower one, this is the audio from the camera. Sometimes what I have ended up doing is I will take the audio from the camera and just get rid of the audio that I recorded on the audio device, which is really unfortunate because the audio device that I'm using right now does much better audio quality than the camera. But it's just one of those things where I got really upset about it when I first started noticing it, and now it's just like, well, what am I gonna do? So yeah, basically editing means I go through here, I do sync up things to sync up the audio with the video. I use the audio from the camera, and then I would go to synchronize, and then, sync with the audio. Sometimes that doesn't work, and I don't know why, but I just run with it. And I'll make a title that's something like, how do you interact with your audience? Obviously, it's not going to show up like that when I do it. What's going to happen is I'm going to put it somewhere where there is no video. So for example right here, and then I just have black screen, white text on black screen, because that's easy to read. And that's about it. It takes a while because, obviously I have to go through and watch all of this, which isn't so bad. If I'll be watching, I'll notice that something's up.
Lots of idea channel videos are these.
And so, for example, for this clip, the audio is off by like 4/30ths of a second, 2/15ths, 1/7, like just like 1/10 of a second. And if you look right here, you can see the waveform is just slightly wrong. And that is because sometimes the synchronizing of audio does not work. Oh, and it's the most frustrating thing. And if any of you know how to fix that, by all means, let me know, because usually what ends up happening is I'll do synchronize, and then it will end up like trying to sync with the time code of something way over here, and it's dumb. It's dumb. Anyway, so yeah, that's how Go Verb Noun happens. And then after I finish all of that, I go up here, I go to File, and then I go to Export Media. And then up here, I go Format H.264. There's a preset in Adobe Premiere for YouTube HD 1080, which is very nice. And I actually discovered that, and by I discovered that, I mean Nick Jenkins told me about that when I was out there, because I was having some trouble with his footage. So yeah, that's that. And then, I'll export it. Or for those parts where I have multiple parts, I'll do Q, and then if I queue it up, what happens is it sends it to Adobe, what is this, encoder? Yeah, Adobe Media Encoder. Let me plug it in this other window. And it'll make a queue of all the things that I need, and then I'll just go to bed, or I'll leave, or whatever, and I'll press play, and it'll start exporting everything and saving it to wherever I want it to save. Yeah, and then that way I don't have to worry about Adobe Premiere being open or anything like that, and I can just do my thing. So that's what I do. Do you guys have any questions for me about this? If so, please let me know in the comments below. As always, I love hearing from you guys. Just let me know. All right, guys. Until next time, stay safe, stay classy, and stay awesome. And I love you. And as always, I will talk to you later. All right, guys. Bye-bye. Oh, and if you were curious what I'm using to record this, I am using a program called Open Broadcaster Software. All right. Bye, guys.